Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Semi-Perfect Podcast. It is May 17th of the 17th year of the 2000th and...
17th.
Yeah. I'm ACRacebest, and joined with my cast of characters, we have Saberspark.
Hey.
Paleo.
Hello.
PanamaMatt.
You know, if we waited 7 more minutes, you really could have gone deeper with that 17 thing.
And the person who's basically responsible for keeping this thing looking good, Toodles.
I have it on life support. Hi. So let me start off. So ACRacebest has celiac disease. I was laughing so much at when he opened the panel, the Semi-Perfect Podcast panel, with, so Sarah has celiac disease, and I'm just like, okay.
Curious where that went.
My boyfriend has chronic diarrhea. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Sarah pointed that out. Or I actually think I caught it like during, because you started laughing at me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I kind of looked at you funny, and I
on.
started laughing, and I was just like, why is it the thing that's being brought up?
Sarah, you are the sum of your disability, so...
Because the room went dead quiet as soon as you said, so Sarah has celiac disease. Because once you say the word...
same thing.
Once you say the word disease,
What's beautiful,
it's like, oh shit.
I know.
It's
I know.
contagious.
Because everyone just like, that's why I don't usually pause after the word disease. So like, if anyone's ever like talking about diets or whatever, I'll be like, oh yeah, so my girlfriend has celiac disease, which means that she can't eat gluten. Because if you stop after disease.
Why was that the lead-in line to the panel?
Someone gave us Oreos and stuff at the beginning of the panel.
Okay.
I'm glad you remembered why, because I was gonna make up something because I wanted to point out everybody's reason for being on the panel, and Sarah's is that she has celiac disease. So just a heads up to everybody, I'm gonna throw this out there now. Vlogs are being posted, and also panels that we were on are being posted. I actually just heard the ding out of the oven. The Semi-Perfect Podcast panel from Everfree Northwest just finished rendering, which means tomorrow morning probably is when it will go live. Tonight, I'm anticipating the Saturday vlog to be live, but it kind of depends. I'm dealing with a copyright issue on that one because of a subtitle fiasco that we were filming that was making us laugh. So, God bless Japanese cartoons. That's what I'm up against right now. But yeah, so there's already been the Friday vlog is up, as well as the Saber and I hosted a panel with all 3 of the Dazzlings from Rainbow Rocks. And that involved Kazumi Evans, Marika Hendricks, and Diana Karina. And so that one's also up, as well as every other panel that we were on, except for the script reading. Script reading where we don't film. So, and thank goodness for that, because we'll get into details a little bit later about why that was quite funny. It involved me learning how to read. Before we get into all that, again, welcome in on this Wednesday evening. Hope that everybody is having a good night. How are all of you doing?
Good. A little bit tired. I had a long day. I had a job interview, and then I picked up my cap and gown for graduation this Friday.
How was the job interview?
It was good. I feel like it went better because I had already previously met this person that I was being interviewed by. So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear, Sarah.
Yeah. It's good. And then, Matt, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen anyone in forever, except for the jury and opposing counsel. And yeah, I just finished up a 2-week-long jury trial.
Woohoo!
Ah, it's all done.
Was that an echo, or was that someone else?
It turned out surprisingly well.
Oh.
I don't want to know. I don't know how long you want to spend on it, but yeah, I spent the last 2 weeks or last week getting the business back up and running. 2 weeks before that was the actual trial. 2 weeks before that was all the prep work leading into it. 29 count white collar case. I got 2 of the counts kicked out based on the law. Another 19 of them were found not guilty by the jury, and the rest were guilty. But all things considered, 8 counts out of 29 is pretty good, especially given these facts.
Oh, good man.
So long story
Glad
short,
to hear that Donald Trump was acquitted.
Yeah.
Long story short, 15,000 pages of discovery, a whole shit ton of work. It was good times, and yes, I'm pleased with the result.
15,000. What do they do with the paperwork after? Do they just throw it out, or do they keep it forever?
Depends on the court. Depends on the attorney. I have a giant box full of stuff, and the rest of it's digital.
Nice, interesting.
On a offline server.
Oh. And Paleo, what have you been up to?
I've been rewatching the Alien movies since the new one comes out this week, and I was going over. I just released my review of the first Alien, and yeah, and then yesterday I watched Aliens. And one thing I've realized after rewatching these movies is that just how influential they were towards video games. Because one thing when I was rewatching Aliens, since I've played StarCraft now, there are a couple of lines that the dropship says in StarCraft that are directly from Aliens. When I was watching it yesterday, I was like, I've heard that line before.
Yeah, there's a lot of inspiration.
Yeah, that's it.
They're iconic movies for sure.
Let me ask you this: now that you've
that's cool.
seen them, do you need to see them in order to see the new? Well, I guess you won't know to see the new one, but
yeah, because I know that the new one is technically part of the prequel thing that Ridley Scott wants to do, because Prometheus was like supposed to be like a prequel thing, but I haven't seen that yet. But I'm going to be watching through Alien 3. I was going to watch Alien 3 tonight, but since the podcast is going on, and then Alien Resurrection. It starts getting kind of weird around Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection is just dumb.
Which one is it where she like starts like making babies with the things or something? I forget.
I think that's Resurrection, because Resurrection they literally resurrect Ripley, because spoilers by the way for 3, but Ripley dies at the end of 3. So they bring her back in Resurrection, like as a clone. It's weird.
now you know.
But she also has like the DNA of the alien somehow.
That's right.
Of the xenomorph. Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? Like.
Yeah, but one thing about Alien 3 is that I know that they use stop motion for the alien a little bit, and it looks really, really dated compared to the other movies. Compared to the first 2, because the first 2 has some really good effects for the time, especially the one in the 1979 Alien. It like they have like the miniatures, which the same kind of technology was used for Star Wars, and then the puppetry and the suit for the xenomorph still looks really good. So and then the in Aliens with like the Queen, that big like animatronic puppet they use is really awesome. So yeah, they're really great movies. The first 2.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm getting ready to start watching all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh yeah, and you might be able to watch the 5th one before it comes out, because it's being held hostage by hackers.
Yeah, so I don't. Has anyone else heard about this?
Nope.
I have not.
Okay, so apparently, like some online group is, holding the movie hostage, saying Disney pay up or we're gonna release it online.
Yeah, pay us in Bitcoin of all things.
Disney's like, well, didn't Disney get the FBI involved? Like,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The FBI is quite busy right now. Well,
Yeah,
The FBI's a
they're
chicken
like,
with its head cut off.
forget the president. We've got more pressing matters.
Yeah,
gotta get this Pirates movie.
That jump. They responded how high?
The pirate movie. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's been the joke going around. That okay. So the pirates are pirating the pirate movie. What can you do?
Move to the Caribbean. Drink a lot of rum.
Well, I've kind of seen that, like, apparently this group isn't really like showing enough evidence to people that I have seen paying like closer attention to all this. Kind of stating that like they don't really show any evidence that they actually have it.
Now, in terms of have it, just like a bootleg of it?
Essentially like a production version of it. So like, other leaks, like the Star Wars one, I remember years ago when the prequels were being made, the one of the Star Wars leaked early, and like everybody in high school had that on their like computer, and they're like, oh my god, check this out. And you see like the numbers on the side, and it's like, whoa, this is so cool. And half of it's not fully edited. It was weird.
I know a guy that got a bootleg copy of the Two Towers before it was out in theaters, watching on a bootleg copy of a DivX player on a school computer. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations has passed for that by now, so he should be fine.
But I want to know, like, pirates, really? I guess, like, it makes sense because the Pirates is still a big, like, multi-million dollar friggin' franchise that has made, like, a lot of money with each release.
Mm-hmm.
But really? You went after Pirates?
You went after Disney. And that was your first problem.
Yeah.
We heard you like pirates, so we pirated your pirates.
They now sense a disturbance in the Force.
I mean,
On an unrelated note, Star Wars Land will be delayed by an additional year.
yeah, I was gonna say that, like, if they like got a cut of Star Wars, I mean, like, I think Disney would like freak out even more.
Well, they're just like, eh.
Mm.
I mean, pirate, like, this whole thing's been like a huge topic with people that do closely follow the box office. The whole like how much does a movie getting leaked affect a movie, whether it's before the movie is released or during its theater run. Sometimes movies have high quality.
Yeah. And how many people are even aware of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. It is interesting. I guess we'll see what happens. But I do plan on seeing it first in theaters. I will not watch it.
You pay for it?
No, I'll sneak in. I have standards. But yeah, Sarah and I went to the movies last night. We saw 2 movies. We saw King Arthur, and we saw the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
There's a King Arthur years now?
Tell me you didn't pay for King Arthur.
I would never tell you that we snuck into King Arthur. I would never admit to that. But and again, for anybody that hasn't seen any of those movies, we know they're in theaters. We're not going to talk about spoilers. Probably more so for one than the other, because I don't know how many people are like, don't tell me how King Arthur ends. But no, we had fun. We had fun with Guardians of the Galaxy. There were a couple scenes that really made me laugh. Like,
King Arthur wasn't really my cup of tea. It's not really my kind of movie.
My only review bit I'll throw here for King Arthur is it's made by the same guy that makes the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh,
And I love those movies. But there's certain things, like with the cinematography and whatnot, that you can be like, oh yeah, this is totally the same guy. And like those bits were fine. But the humor in the Sherlock Holmes movies, I feel like they hit every time, for me at least. The King Arthur movie, I felt like every joke, it took me like a minute to go, oh wait, that was a joke. Like I don't know if it was just that it was so dryly like delivered or what, but I don't know, man. I was just like, for me, I tend to laugh easily at jokes, and like these, I was like, they're making a funny. I think it's just the tone of the movie. It doesn't really set itself up for that kind of humor, as compared to, say, something with Sherlock Holmes, where you have, Sherlock Holmes, who's his character and whatnot. So I don't know, but I mean, I'm still had fun. The effects were, I thought, decent enough to keep things interesting. But yeah, so. I guess real quickly we'll run through the food post since we're 30 minutes into the podcast.
Yes, and just before that, I'm gonna say today's backsplash for the Semi Perfect podcast was done by Cadet Red Shirt, and it's got everybody on it. It's got Saber and Laura and Black Griffin and Paleo and ACRacebest, me and PanamaMatt.
I do appreciate how many people with blue eyes we have here.
Yeah.
Gabe, you gotta be an outlier.
At one point there was a group that was like, we should only have people with blue eyes
and blonde hair. Wait, no. I'm sorry, I should never have gone there. Do not, no art, no nothing. Do not, no.
I like how Matt's sitting here like apologizing profusely, and I'm the one who set up that.
I'm the one that followed through knowingly and then realized the implications of it.
Yeah.
There's always the day after pill, Matt.
Wow.
Okay. You don't know what color my eyes are since they're closed.
What color are your eyes, Paleo?
I mean, my OC's eyes or my eyes?
Yes. Are they not the same?
No.
No.
They're not the same.
What color are your OC's eyes?
Yeah, they're blue.
Aha!
They're a bluish, like green type color.
Son of a bitch. All right, so
Saber's OC's eyes aren't the same as his.
Nope. Yeah?
They're not.
Yeah.
All right, food posts.
Saber's eyes are pink. Okay, so Jory posted a food post a long time ago.
Yeah, 5 hours ago.
They weren't able to join until later after work, but they were eating an early dinner of barbecue pork with hot sauce.
Looks real good.
And then we have Drummer Shy.
Water's mouth.
Drummer Shy.
Is that just a big Ziploc bag of popcorn?
It is,
yeah.
And I actually ate a crap ton of popcorn last night, so this is actually like not that appetizing for me to look at right now. I'm just like, whoa. Is that? I'm more curious. Is that a orange soda bottle filled with water?
Probably. Looks like it.
Why not? Stacy has a Spitfire blanket that is getting bigger.
Nice.
And the podcast
it's looking good.
And Leon is getting larger.
Good. Nikki D is going to be late for the podcast also. Man, everyone's running late tonight, but that's okay because Nikki D's got the pizza. I want some pizza. I could go for that. And then Nora is having cereal after a long day of promoting her company. Ross is eating a laundry basket while watching the Semi Perfect podcast. Good for you, Ross. Nice. Let me share that. I'm also gonna retweet Nora's.
Let me see if there's some that we missed. Yeah. 1 second.
Was there?
Yeah. Because some people only at Semi Perfect Pod. Norris Bruni's having pork pie and egg custard tart, and with some lemon squash to wash it down.
What's the difference between an egg custard tart and a quiche?
I don't know.
We ask the tough questions here on this podcast.
I'm gluten free. I don't know anything about your kind of foods.
Your heritage.
And then we've got a drawing by Shadowblood. Let me put that in the chat here.
Ooh.
Of Black Griffin this time. He did Saberspark last episode. I'm going to post that in the chat, in the Twitch chat as well. So everybody can see. Looking good, Shadowblood.
That's awesome.
Oh, and also Chris has mint Oreos.
Oh.
Those look good.
Someone gave us double stuffed Oreos during our panel. And that was wonderful.
All right, that's all the food posts I
Sarah could not eat.
Sweet. So let's jump right into this. A reminder to everybody that as far as when we discuss My Little Pony episodes, we'll be discussing them as they're released in the United States. We know that Canada has a really messed up release schedule, or they're the only ones that are right now. The rest of us are messed up, but they're ahead of us right now. We're not going to talk about that episode here on the podcast that was released in Canada, but we are going to be talking about 2 episodes, Sarah. One that I actually just watched, which was why I was 2 minutes late to the podcast. And then what was the other one? What was the one from 2 weeks ago?
Fluttershy Leans In.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So I want to get to Fluttershy Leans In actually second. Let's first talk about this.
All right. It's called Forever Philly with Sweetie Belle. Too old to have fun.
Okay, so who here has seen this episode?
I have not seen that because I didn't. I've been very confused about the schedule, so I've seen a whole bunch of the episodes, but I apparently missed one.
Don't worry, I did too.
I saw it.
Okay, so you've seen it. So 3 of us have seen it. Thoughts? Without too many spoilers.
I really liked the concept they were going for and a number of the ways they blended the 2 storylines together.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they did it in a very forced way that made a number of characters act like they had to for the script.
Yeah.
Parts of it
I want to applaud.
very natural when it got there. When I saw what they were doing, it made a lot more sense and I appreciated it. But there were just moments where a character doesn't, and you just think you just sit there thinking, why?
I want to applaud the show staff. After seeing this episode, it is potentially the first episode where I think I've ever sat while watching an episode and gone, I'm on Rarity's side here. I agree with Rarity.
Well, you are old.
No, it's just there were things that were happening in the episode with characters, and I'm just like, I feel like Rarity's completely in the right here. It's like, what? I don't know. This is one of the, for those that haven't seen it, it's essentially a growing up episode for Sweetie Belle, kind of. And also,
yeah.
But
honestly, I think Rarity had more growth in this episode.
Sure, I just mean literally oh, Sweetie Belle's not a baby anymore.
Yeah, it's just
type of thing.
Spent time away from sister for too long, and sister grew up.
Honestly, you know what it felt like for me? Essentially, it was to me, it felt more like teenagers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like.
Well, how many things did you hit as a teenager that you didn't think were cool anymore, but you came back to now and you're like, yeah.
I mean, excuse me, but ice cream is for every age.
Matt, you're talking to a guy. You're talking to a guy who, just 2 days ago, was at a My Little Pony.
You're talking to a guy who's seen Zootopia 30 times in theaters.
But these are adult ACRacebest. I'm talking about teenage ACRacebest. Was there never a point where you thought cartoons were for kids?
No, I got into I joined the Acorn Cafe at 17.
Fair enough. I joined it during law school, so you know.
I walked around. I'll put it this way, guys. I walked around my high school because at the time, Chip and Dale, it was hard to see any merchandise for Chip and Dale in the parks for some reason, and so the Acorn Cafe actually started up a petition, and they wanted real signatures, not online signatures. I walked around with a bunch of papers at my high school, I think my junior year, and I walked around passing out flyers for people to sign saying that they want more Chip and Dale stuff from Disney. And so, I mean, no, I never really had the whole cartoon shame.
I don't think I did either, because I joined the cafe when I was 15, 16. Cartoons were always cool. I mean, I had a phase where I watched a lot of anime, but
I'm just, you have to understand though, I am a big kid. I've never really changed from that. There was like a period of time, I'd say, like where I wasn't watching as many cartoons. But it's not like I would also like actively be like, no, cartoons, ew.
You know,
So, I don't know.
I got to tell you, I went a very different route.
Yeah.
Sad to say. Looking back on it, it's like, why the hell was I concerned? But yeah, teenage cartoons are for kids. You got to fit in with the expectations of middle school, and you're growing up now. And what, you still watch those shows? No, totally don't. Wasn't until college that I finally got to the realization of, you know what? Yeah, I still watch them. They are fun, and damn you if you don't like them. And sure enough, you find other people saying, yeah, you know, those shows were good, and that they still watch them too.
Yeah.
It's an odd process, those teenage years.
Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, I turned to Sarah at one point. I'm like, how do you grow? There is one bit with like an ice cream shop in this episode, and that's where like the whole ice cream thing that Sarah brought up came up, and I'm just sitting there like, it was weird because Sweetie Belle, and this isn't a huge spoiler, but essentially Sweetie Belle like acts like I don't even know where we are, and then
Mary's like, what the heck is a salad?
A salad.
It was weird. It was weird. But talking about episodes, one that may be talked about for a while down the road, this is one that I imagine most, if not all of us, have seen at this point, is an episode that actually came out the prior week, written by G.M. Barrow, called Fluttershy Leans In. And I know, Saber, I know you've seen this one. In fact, you saw it before I did. And this was a good episode.
Was that a GM Barrow episode?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not notice.
Yeah.
In that, not in terms of quality. In terms of quality of the writing, I just didn't look at the title card. I'm sorry. To clarify that.
I was curious. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't know? Is Saber even here?
Nah.
Got you.
He said BRB. Well,
Got you. Oh, he did say that.
I said that.
So,
He said it in the Discord chat. Bastard.
Oh, wow. Yeah. BRB.
So yeah, Forever Philly. It was an okay episode overall. I wasn't like.
Yep.
It's funny. I was watching it with my friend Matt, not in the podcast, Matt.
The other Matt.
Yeah, the other Matt, and my other friend Hero, and we watched it, and I was like, yeah, that was okay, and then but Matt, he freaking hated it, and the funny thing is that I was like, you know, you ate lunch with this lady that wrote this episode. I want you to say that to her face.
Oh, wait, he didn't like it?
Yeah, he didn't like it at all.
Wait, which episode are we talking about again?
The Fluttershy one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, I was still. Oh, sorry. Did we had we moved on to the Fluttershy Leans In episode because I was still talking about Forever Philly? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, Fluttershy Leans In. Actually, Kestrel in the chat's kind of bringing up some good points as to like Fluttershy's behavior. Like his opinion is that she didn't give enough direction to the expert people, so like her being angry was kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I think that's why
she gave full direction to these folks. She just didn't speak up when they. Never mind. I'll try.
I feel like for some of them, she was like definitely for the designer guy. She was very clear of what she wanted. Like, I just want some green and brown fucking pillows, please. That's all.
Yeah,
and he's just like, no.
I get the whole the whole oh, she didn't give enough direction, so to speak. But I feel like that might be looking further in than the episode intended you to look. Like essentially,
I think that's why my friend Matt didn't really like the episode because he takes commissions a lot, and when you don't get a lot of like direction for what you're supposed to do, it's kind of frustrating.
Especially when you submitted to them and they said you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Kestrel says, "I want something that's like a warm hug." What the fuck does that mean?
Well, I feel like the episode, like I see that point, I see that side of it.
I mean, as a person that takes commissions too, I do see that point, but I feel like
the dialogue though is where I'm going here, where I feel like it leads you to what it's getting at. Is the characters make it very clear that, you know, Fluttershy is like, well, here's my idea, and they're not saying I don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
they're
like,
saying,
oh, well, my thing's gonna
too
be
bad.
Yeah,
they're saying too bad. I'm gonna do it my way, and you're gonna like it better. And then, it's I mean, it is an important lesson to learn.
Very.
I guess from both sides, you could say the whole, like, if you want something done exactly, well, A, you could do it yourself, but B,
or be
hi Saber, we're talking about Fluttershy leans in.
It's a good episode.
Good episode?
Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not feeling very good tonight.
Saber's sick, by the way.
My eyes are burning.
So who got you sick? Who at the convention got you sick?
Whoever was sharing that bag of trail mix with me, I guess. But as you were saying, go ahead.
I hope it was worth it.
Sorry.
Well, do you have anything to say about Fluttershy leans in, Saber?
It was good. It's good to see character progression actually be established and then also, like, rest. So I enjoyed it.
Saber said something positive about an episode.
Whoa.
It was a good episode.
Yeah.
It was
dumb.
No, but yeah, that's my point. Is I feel like both sides could learn a lesson from it. How Fluttershy, so to speak, expresses herself, but also as somebody who is in the position of one of the workers. You know, if somebody asks you for something, whether I don't know, I just think of, like, at my work, for example, like as an engineer.
It's not like they tried to understand what she was saying if they were confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If a client
should have
comes
been
to
like,
us,
what?
You're a what? If a client comes to us and says this is what we want, we don't turn around and go,
okay,
too bad.
Fuck you.
We're gonna do this. So, but I mean, you also have kind of the I guess a little bit of the weird, just to add to the weird situation. Technically, they were like volunteering, so I don't know. It was like Saber said, it was nice to see the progress in Fluttershy's character come to light. I thought it made for a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I did.
I just want to say, like, Daddy McColt was, like, the biggest... I was just like, what? Where did he come from again? I don't know. It was weird. I'm like... Because when Fluttershy's like, oh, I have another expert that I am asking help of. And I'm just like, wow, this guy's from last season. What the fuck? Okay. It's, like, the most random, like, last person I'd ever fucking think of. Like, I thought she was gonna bring in, whatever, Tree Hugger. I don't know.
Tree Hugger is a little
like,
high.
Oh, Daddy McColt. Okay.
Yeah, kidding. Like, such a highly demanded character. Let's bring back Daddy McColt.
All
Trying to
right.
get him in on the convention.
The one thing I gotta say is I'm really intrigued by the last couple of episodes. They're taking on some very deep concepts to tackle within a half hour.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, it's
I think the concept of aging, the concept, the nuanced concept of standing up for your ideas and being able to express them against people that aren't willing to understand or aren't listening.
Yeah.
That's deep for, well, I'm not going to call it a kid's show, you know what I mean, but to tackle
a little
22
girls show.
Yes.
Did I?
No, seriously, for a
show that is typically, you know, it's
for a
children's
half-hour
programming.
for a half-hour cartoon, that's a lot to tackle in the time limit they have available to them.
I'll be saying the same thing to Samurai Jack now that's a 30-minute episode this weekend.
Dude, Samurai Jack. They've done a lot with that show in its reboot too.
But it's confirmed that it's not an hour-long special. You only have like 22 minutes. I'm like, how in the
They're
hell
wrapping that up at 22, huh?
I don't know how they can do that. I really have no idea.
Stabby, stabby, and we're done.
Yes.
I miss Scaramouche.
Please.
He got what he deserved.
No, baby.
I'm surprised they kept him as long as they did.
He's
My
the
God.
catalyst to this whole thing.
I think
Spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Sorry. So, shall we kind of briefly go over Everfree and talk about that convention?
Yes, please. I want to hear about this.
Sure. Yeah.
Saturday
So Everfree Northwest was a lot of fun. I'll help Saber out here since he's recovering. But yeah, it was good. On Thursday, we all flew out. Sarah accompanied me, and Laura was with Saber. So both of our girlfriends were out there with us as we took on Everfree Northwest. It was my 4th time in Seattle for MLP, and it was another good time. It was 3 days, as most of them typically are: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday we had, as mentioned, we had the Dazzlings panel, which is uploaded right now for anyone that's interested in seeing that. And then we also had, God, what else was Friday? There was something else.
Dazzling?
Oh yeah, Who's Line?
Oh, okay.
No, the Who's. Sarah, you ain't paying attention.
No, I'm not. I was reading the chat.
Yeah, no, the Who's Line panel, which I'm still working on editing right now, but that was a lot of fun. We actually had a couple of show staff join us, Kazumi Evans, Diana Karina, and Marika Hendricks, as well as Vincent Tong. So they each kind of hopped in for a game. So that was a lot of fun. Good Who's Line. Yeah, no, it was fun, and it was messy. It was messy. Saber, you still cleaning stuff out of your ear?
Thank goodness it was a cleaning product to begin with, right?
That's true. That's true. We're gonna find out. Like, oh, by the way, don't inhale this stuff.
Make you really sick.
No. Yeah, and then besides that, what I liked about this convention is it felt like the scheduling was so good that we were able to not only see a little bit more of this convention, but also be able to actually like see friends and hang out a bit. I know we saw Beavids and Casey. Had dinner with them on Friday night at Red Robin.
Yum.
And yeah, just kind of Everfree Northwest is a fun convention because it's one of the bigger ones, but it also there's this vibe that you get from it. Ever since I went in 2012, I always kind of get this vibe of like fandom innocence almost.
It really is.
But it's fun, and also this convention is very good with catering to the kids, so that's good too.
There's 2 dodgeballs at them.
Yeah,
cool.
They yeah. No, just in general, as far as first off, it's a very family-friendly convention. They in their programs, they actually lay out on the schedule which ones would be good for kids, whether they're children-specific panels in the children's room or anything on the main hall or anywhere else. So, but I don't think any of our panels, by the way, fit under the kid-friendly banner. But no, it's good, and it's important to see that because again, you know, these kids are essentially the future of our fandom. So
yeah, it does amuse me to hear you say that about your panels, knowing how many kids and their parents walk up to you to
I always get a little afraid when I hear a parent say, oh, my, 4-year-old loves watching your bronies reacts. And I'm like, oh, God. The children.
The children.
But yeah, no, Friday was a good start. And we actually got to bed early that day.
What?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we went to bed at like 10:30.
Yeah, we're like old people.
Yeah. And then Saturday was the busy day for panels. We had a script reading panel that was, again, it was, as most of these typically are, it was convention, I guess you could say, convention exclusive. So they're not recorded. So, like, for example, I don't have any footage of this panel, but it's always a good time. Always really an honor and a pleasure to be able to join in on the fun that Tabitha writes up. And we were up there with a bunch of the VAs. Now, Saber and I shared narrating duties in this, and this is what I was referring to earlier in the podcast, where things got a little exciting. Tabitha likes French words, and I feel like I've narrated quite a few of these before, but this was the first time where I ever actually had a stumble. And of course it would be Saber to my left and Tabitha to my right. So I just had this downward spiral with this word boudoir.
Boudoir.
That one. Yeah. And
Boudier.
It is spelled boudier, and so that's what I said. And then of course other words that shouldn't be an issue, like airs, except it's with an H. So I'm like, okay, hairs, and they're like, no, it's
you pronounce
hairs.
it the Eddie Izzard way.
I pronounce it the way it's spelled because I speak English. And then there were a couple other funny moments. Like at one point, there were two. Like there was one screw up that was just like an honest, like, oh crap. There was a song that was being sung by Kazumi, and it was she was going and singing, and what I did was my narration started on the next page, so I looked to see on my page what the last few things she would say. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be ready. And the problem was there were two verses that ended the exact same way, and one was on the previous page and one was on the next page, and I thought she was finishing the song, so I started talking, and Tabitha kind of like grabbed my arm like, whoa. I was like, it's too late. Oh, whoops. And then I don't know how I screwed this one up though. The last screw up I had, and this is the one that made me laugh. What? Because I really played up the whole French word pronunciation thing, but somehow I read the word rabbit as squirrel. I still haven't figured out.
You get the two confused.
You'd think I'd go the other way, like, oh, squirrels? Nah, we're going rabbits. I don't know.
Aren't you obsessed with a rabbit?
I laughed at that when he said that. I was like, what a bitch. Like,
it's like you channeled my dad. I don't know. Have I told you that story? There was there used to be a little rabbit statue in our garden, and my dad at one point, we were having like an outdoor dinner, and he was he was showing my grandma or something, like, oh yeah, we have like a little garden squirrel. And I'm like, Dad, that's a rabbit. And, yeah, we all made fun of him for it. And we still do to an extent.
Good. One of my favorite screw-ups that Sarah's parents have ever done, once I went over for Thanksgiving, and her mom was making up this beautiful... Was it Christmas?
Yes. You don't make chicken pot pie for Thanksgiving. You make fucking turkey.
I don't make it for Christmas either, Sarah.
Well, my family makes it for Christmas.
Is that a seasonal thing?
My family just that's just what we do on Christmas, is we make a chicken pot pie.
As a Christmas thing?
Oh my God, it's my family, okay?
Well, no. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm curious.
I'm explaining it's just something my family does. I don't know if it's a Christmas thing, but it's like Jeffrey was saying, oh, there's a chicken pot pie on fucking Thanksgiving. No, Thanksgiving's for dressing and cornbread and turkey.
Not have any place in Thanksgiving.
Fighting words.
Jesus. Okay, sorry. So it was Christmas, and anyways, I think we all took part in helping prepare this dinner.
Yeah.
And you know, we all sit down, we start eating, and I think it was your sister, Sarah, that eventually called it out.
Yeah.
She's like, is there chicken in the chicken pot pie? And your mom suddenly had this like look of realization.
No.
And she walks into the kitchen and she goes, "Oops."
Luckily, it was already pre-cooked and shredded chicken, so all we had to do was like stick it in our pie and heat it up in the microwave a little bit, and there you go. Beautiful accident. Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, the script reading was fun. A lot of people, it seemed like everybody enjoyed it. Wow, I still can't talk. Enjoyed it. And so then there were other panels that day. I had one where I was on with a podcast called Zootopia Minute. And what these guys do is they essentially analyze a minute of the movie for each podcast. So I think it's weekly, and they'll go through and analyze 60 seconds and then stop, and then the next 60 seconds and stop. And
I like it.
It was fun. It was an hour panel. Typically, their episodes range about 20 to 30 minutes, and you could check it out, Zootopia Minute. They're on YouTube. But it was fun being, having a part in it. One of the guys who was on it was actually somebody who helped Matt. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2013, Everfree Northwest, right after we got our badges, we were kind of given a tour of the entire convention. Do you recall that?
I do.
The guy who gave us that tour, his name was Cole.
Yes.
And
I always name. I'm horrible.
I don't know.
That rang a bell.
And this is what's funny is that I didn't realize until the day of that that panel was that Cole was one of the two guys on this podcast. So I was like, blast from the past.
Small world.
Yeah, the other guy is one who actually does a lot of vending at these conventions. He sells quite a bit of art and whatnot, and he also has some Zootopia doodads. For anyone that's ever seen the Hootopia, it's like a scroll he has. It's essentially Doctor Who and Zootopia crossover.
I like it.
It's cool, and it was fun. I'm going to be posting that panel a little bit later. They're going to be releasing their podcast, and then once that's out, I'm going to release the video for the panel. It should be within the week that comes out, but it was a good fun time, and got to talk about Zootopia, so win-win. Saber, that was your favorite panel, right?
No.
Okay, so
What was your favorite panel?
What was my favorite panel? The ones I was on.
no,
I'm playing. It's weird. Like I talk more about this, where I don't get to be an attendee when it comes to cons. I mean, I've been doing this for like half a decade now. It's just crazy. And I'm typically a participant at panels and cons, and it's another experience altogether. And I'm watching it. I'm like, the Zootopia topic, like the way y'all did the panel. Well, I wouldn't have done it that way, but the topic was interesting. I think I missed a crucial part, which was the very beginning where y'all showed the clip. Right, so maybe that's why.
You mean the basis for the entire hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm admitting it. I'm admitting it. All right, so good on them for their panel. I guess my only complaint is that you had a Q&A session. You guys only asked for 3 questions, and it was over. So you might want to space out your Q&A section a bit more next time. But yeah, I like Sing. It's a good movie, so I'm glad y'all did a panel about it. There was somebody in line who had a Sing doll, and I was like, I really want to know what they have to say.
Wait, they did? I didn't know they made Sing dolls.
Well, that's why they cut the line for Q&A.
No more questions.
No, seriously, it was the elephant with little pigtails. I'm like, oh god, I want to know what you have to say. And then it's cut off. I was like, oh, so whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it was actually weird for me too, a little bit, because typically, I think this might be the first panel that I was on, so to speak, by myself, in the sense that I wasn't on there with anybody that I really knew that well beforehand. Like, Saber, you and I have been on some panels that we weren't running and we were invited on last minute. And, you know, sometimes those can range from good to what the hell. But it was kind of weird being essentially, I guess, on a panel there, just like, oh, it's just me and these two dudes that I either kind of know or kind of know. So, but it was fun. As mentioned, I felt like they at least handled their time well, minus the Q&A bit, only because
I'm being really hard on them, by the way, because you're on it. They did a good job. So I liked it. I just wish I could have asked my question about Zootopia economics. That I was really wanting that.
I would have been, because I know we've talked about that, but I would have been curious to hear what they would have said there. So yeah, so there was that, and then we finished off the day panel wise, and this one was fun. It was the semi-perfect podcast panel, and it was Laura, Sarah, Saber, and myself. And for that panel, we actually had an hour and a half, which is actually really close to about how long these usually go. Anyways,
Sarah, weren't you dreading it?
No.
I remember you being like an hour and a half. And I was like, right there with him, like
well, no, I wasn't like, ugh, an hour and a half. I was just like, wow, we're gonna fill an hour and a half of just us talking
no.
about
That's what I was
shit.
thinking too.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But lo and behold, we did it. Jesus Christ, we did.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a good time. And for all of the panels, solid turnouts for all of them. The only one I really wasn't sure about, as far as like how the turnout was going to be, was the Zootopia Minute one, because that wasn't, again, one of our panels, and even that one I felt like had a really good turnout for being a Zootopia panel at a My Little Pony convention.
Yo, the semi-perfect podcast panel audience was like on fire.
Yeah,
like everybody. It was just one fella named Christian, I think is his name. He's a big Black Griffin fan. He always wears Black Griffin and Michelle's like swag. And I'm always like, that's so good to see my cons. He's always so happy. He's a cool dude.
Yep. So, and again, all these panels that we're talking about, minus the script reading, will eventually be posted. So, if you're interested, you could check those out. Sarah was making fun of my intro here at the beginning about how, I guess, like the first thing I said was, and this is Sarah and she has celiac disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and what was also kind of rare but nice was that for dinner that night, we actually had a funny moment that pops up in the vlogs where we went to Old Spaghetti Factory and ran into somebody that wasn't at Everfree Northwest but did attend BabsCon. So they recognized Saber and I, and all of a sudden I heard Saberspark, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. Is that somebody in our group? And it wasn't. But so that was kind of just a random little fun moment. Also got to spend some time that night with Scott, the guy running Everfree Northwest. So Scott and his team did a fantastic job with all that stuff. But it was nice to be able to be there. Again, Casey was out there as well, and she obviously with EQLA. It's always kind of nice to be able to just like sit and chill with these people with such power.
You mean you're not one of them?
Nope.
Oh
no, but it was a great just like sit down meal, and again, good
chill.
food, good people, good times.
And
then Sunday, you did?
I almost spilled my food. I almost knocked it out of the waiter's hand.
Oh yeah,
Because he was standing right behind me, and he's like, "Who has the gluten-free spaghetti?" And he was like, "Oh, I think it was you." And I raised my hand because he says that, because I was trying to be like, that's me, and I almost knocked it out of his hand. So yeah. All right, next day.
And then Sunday just had a Bronies React panel. Again, good turnout, fun time, and on the panel was Brony Dance Party, both Fire Team Harmony, and Saber and myself and Dusty Cat, and it was good. Solid hour of questions and stories, and a huge debate for anyone that saw it on Twitter in regards to, is a hot dog a sandwich? And I'm glad this came up because I didn't realize that there's people out there that actually believe that a hot dog is, in fact, a sandwich.
Matt, what is your thoughts on this? I want to hear it. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, I suppose it depends on how you define a sandwich and what a hot dog
In
is.
your definition of everything.
I think it's a dumb question. I think it's a really stupid
Everything is the antithesis of nothing.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because nothing is something.
Matt.
You really asked a lawyer to give you the definition of a sandwich and a hot dog?
No, I asked if, in your opinion, a hot dog is a sandwich. I didn't ask for a definition of anything.
It depends on how you define sandwich.
But how do you define a sandwich?
It's how you define sandwich, Matt.
You guys are making up stupid shit now. Like I went to a sandwich shop and I'm like, "Where's my meatball and spaghetti?" And it's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look, it's a sandwich."
A hot dog is a sandwich.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. You guys are dumb.
You take a piece of bread, you cut it in half, you put ingredients between it. Therefore, it is a sandwich.
The hot dog bun is not two pieces of bread. It's one piece of bread.
Thank you, Paleo. Yeah. Finally, someone.
It's one piece of bread cut in half. It's not cut all the way.
Which is how a loaf of bread begins before you make a sandwich.
No. Yeah, but a hot dog bun isn't cut all the way.
A hot dog is its own category.
You non-celiac people.
In the middle of it.
No, Subway loaves are a bad example because a sandwich is two pieces of bread. Just the way for convenience.
If you've got a hot dog bun all the way through, it will become a sandwich.
A hot dog, according to the dictionary, is a frankfurter, especially one served hot in a long, soft roll and topped with various condiments. So it's the meat, my friend, not the fucking bread, loser.
Hey, you know what, Scott? By the way,
with your bread.
Let me just say, Scott from Everfree Northwest just talked about him. Says a hot dog is not a sandwich. A hot dog in a bun is a sandwich, just like a sub sandwich is a sandwich.
No, Scott, stop this.
Now I'm confused. Wait, is he agreeing or disagreeing? Hot dog in a bun.
All right, Q&A. Let's get in.
I'm looking at a list. I'm looking at the wiki page for sandwiches. I don't see a hot dog as a type of sandwich.
It's not. That's right.
Yeah, I see a burger as a type of
sandwich.
sandwich.
Two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other things.
Yeah, a taco is not a sandwich, but it has something that holds.
I see a burger on here, which that makes sense. A burger's a sandwich.
Yeah, a burger is absolutely a sandwich.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I'd support that. Okay, so as we start pulling up Q&A.
I love you ask me my opinion, then tell me I'm wrong.
I just wanted to see if your opinion was right.
From you that you wish for me to use.
That's why I wanted it. No, to finish it off, Sarah, Saber, what were your guys' thoughts on Everfree Northwest 2017?
Great, fantastic con.
It was very good. I enjoyed it. Hoping to return next year.
Yeah, no. What was fun about it was how the entire Sunday I felt were just good vibes, just really good vibes throughout the whole weekend. And everyone that was walking by, it sounds like a lot of people are planning on being back because everyone was like, "Hey, we'll see you next year." So there were a lot of attendees that I'm sure are excited. They've already announced that Ashley Ball will be at 2018. And they already have the dates out, by the way, so you can check those out on their website.
All right.
But, just cool. a lot of fun. Love Everfree Northwest, and again, certainly hope that. Certainly hope that we could be back next year. What?
Update on the sandwich thing.
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
I just looked at the complete list, it does list hot dog here, but I refuse to believe it.
No. That's not a hot dog. They're saying you can make a hot dog sandwich.
Thank you.
Bam. You're welcome. I got you, Saber.
The hot dog is not about the bread. You guys want to go?
A sandwich is not about the bread.
I mean, this list also lists an ice cream sandwich as a type of sandwich. Now,
it is.
Technically, it is.
Yeah,
but
technically, like I would just call it ice cream. I mean, it is an ice cream sandwich, but it's not like the kind of sandwich that we think it is.
Well, I mean, if you go by the Cold Stone definition, there's very little difference aside from the sandwich part of it is crushed into the ice cream. So basically, if you took an ice cream sandwich and beat it to a bloody pulp and then put it in a bowl, you'd have Cold Stone.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
So see, the sandwich is all about bread. And a hot dog with a bun crushed into it would no longer be a hot dog. It would be a mess. Therefore, a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yeah, but this also lists like just jam on bread as a sandwich. That's not a sandwich.
Yeah,
like,
it's called a jelly sandwich.
Between two pieces of bread it is, but not on just one piece.
If you fold it in half, it works.
Let's move on.
Okay, let's
next
go to Q&A.
All right, Q&A.
Sarah, you're not getting us off this topic.
Q&A.
Podcast, folks. Moving on.
Q&A.
Let's see.
Let's see here. I'm gonna scroll down. I saw some questions from earlier.
Yeah. I see one from.
All right, you want to start with the deep one?
Yeah.
Let's start with the deep one because it's one of the first ones here. I'm still trying to find it, so I'm gonna kind of unless you see it, Sarah.
I got it. Drummer Shy asks, he says, "I recently got cyberbullied. What is your suggestion to overcome that?"
Suppose it depends on how you were cyberbullied, but
yeah, this is circumstantial. There's cyberbullying that involves people saying mean comments on YouTube videos, for example, and then there's cyberbullying to the effect of people hacking into your private accounts and each depending on what's happening. What were you gonna say, Matt?
I was going to say, yeah, depending on hacking in or fundamentally posting a credible, violent threat, in which case your local police agency may be a good person to contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's cyberbullying to the extent of name calling and it doesn't go much past that, as hard as it is, typically the best advice we have for something like that is ignore it as best as you can. A lot of social media sites have options for you to block, mute, keep those type of people away from your, feed. So if it is to a level of threats, that requires probably a next step. Because the problem with threats is that, it's not always the best advice to be like, oh yeah, just ignore that too. Yeah. Because sometimes right. And that's why if you hear it all the time where if somebody calls something in for a school or whatnot, the school's not going to go but are they really, because you can't afford to find out yes they did. So
like if it's that serious to where you're getting like threats and stuff like that, my advice would be take screenshots of the messages that they're sending you, collect all of that stuff, and if it ever gets to a serious point where you feel like you need to go to the cops, then you have everything there, have all the evidence of what's been going on. So I think it's always good to keep evidence of that type of stuff, log something like that.
And they'll even if you're not sure, it never hurts to consult somebody, for example, at a department, because they might have better advice or a better way to handle the situation. These kind of things can be very serious. So it's not something that we're going to take lightly in the sense that we're not going to be
Shy,
like,
I'll leave you alone. I'm sorry for bullying you.
thank you, Saber.
Stop being this wuss.
Yeah.
No,
I haven't
what
dealt
they
with
said.
too much cyberbullying, but I have dealt with cyber stalking, and that's always pretty shitty.
Yeah, you have.
So
You'd be surprised how much power you have in this situation. Just to be like, I'm done with this, and then just leave it alone.
The beautiful thing about the internet is you can turn it off.
Unless someone's talking to you, then that's a problem.
Yeah, once it becomes a more physical side of things, then you take it to the next level. But
Yep.
It's annoying. But
It's
beyond
poopy.
that, you got your resources.
All right, Nora's question here is, here's my question, and I got it from my training. What was your most memorable vacation?
Ooh,
Um,
my God. I've been fortunate enough to have a few.
probably Disney World with my family. Probably the
Why?
one where I was a bit older, where I could like remember a lot more stuff. Because it's fun, and Disney World's the best. Enough said.
Better than Disneyland?
They both have their ups. I love Disneyland, but there's more content in Disney World.
This
I
Oh
can-
my God.
versus Disneyland.
I feel
it's
betrayed.
more of a vacation than Disneyland, which you guys go to every 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
It's true. I think for me, most memorable vacation would be when I went to Europe with my family. Just because actually, you know what? I say Europe because that was so like eye-opening and cool. But I think one of the most impactful, like my family likes to do cruises, and what's nice about cruises is that it's kind of like you can go to a lot of destinations, but not also be tied down to that destination. Essentially, like for example, the first cruise I ever went on was one to the Caribbean when I was about 13 or 14 years old, and first off, the cruise itself, I was just like, this is incredible. And like, it reminded me of the good parts, or I should say the non-dying parts of Titanic, but like, it was so cool. And, but I remember when we got to the Caribbean and they had just had they had a huge like hurricane that had gone through this year or just the year before. And it was it was such a culture shock for me to just be there as a tourist looking around at like houses that are literally like broken in half and it just like kind of seeing people sitting there on the streets and whatnot, and I'm just kind of sitting like, God, like it put a lot into perspective for me about how much I have and had. And yeah, I think that was one of the most impactful vacations I'd ever taken, because it showed me, well, this is what life's like in other countries, so maybe think twice about complaining.
Anybody else have a contribution?
Probably my most memorable one was the one I went to in 2010. Like, I saved up some money to go back to San Diego for a while, because my mom had moved back here to North Carolina in 2008, so I didn't have an excuse to go back there anymore. So I saved up some money and went in 2010 and interacted with the dolphins and orcas and went whale watching for a while. So I stayed there for like a week.
I was going to joke that SeaWorld was going to be your answer. But it was.
I don't know. For me, I had a different answer until you said the most impactful, which got me off onto a different one. But I was going to say my mom, as amazing and crazy as she is, took me and two of my cousins to London and Paris by herself, which was a wonderful trip. I can't believe she did that with Well, we were teenagers at that point. She's brave. There was a trip to Hawaii that I remember vividly, but when you say impactful, there was a fishing trip I went on with a friend of mine, Ray Sarah, you know him. Saber, you might.
Ice.
Ice, indeed. Went fishing up in the northern Washington area, northwestern tip of it. And we're driving up there, and he needs to stop for gas, and he'd been on this trip before. It's with his family, so I was fortunate to have been invited. We stopped for gas, and he says, "Here, I want to show you something." And we go traipsing off through the underbrush into the forest beside this gas station in the middle of nowhere. For those of you that aren't familiar with Washington State, that particular area, it is all trees and occasional bits of water. So we go traipsing off into a forest near a gas station. I'm thinking, is this the part where he kills me? What the hell?
It's his time.
And I started hearing splashing, water splashing around. Okay, what is that? We're not alone here, clearly. And sure enough, past a set of trees, there is a creek with all but 6 inches of water in it. And I see splashing in it. And there are salmon, 1.5 to 2 foot long, flapping their way through this bare bit of water to get to whoever the hell knows where they're going. They were born. Some natural force was compelling them up this puddle of water.
But yeah, it's a salmon run.
It is. It's
Yeah.
complete. It is. They are going to some pond somewhere. But the impactful part of it to me was just sitting there, city boy that I am, seeing fish with no fundamental direction, knowing where to go, and just thinking to myself, nature.
Damn, nature, you scary.
Cool.
Seriously, I'm just seeing fish flop through inches of water to go, well, to be real, have sex.
I would do the same thing.
When you think of all that goes on around us without actually being told to do it, or just the fact that nature works, it's a humbling experience, and seeing that was rather impactful in that way.
Saber, do you have a memorable vacation?
Played video games for an entire weekend. It was great.
You have all the good stories.
Yes.
Ozzy has a question for Paleo and Saber, asking, will you do a full review or first impressions of Samurai Jack after the finale?
Yeah, I want to do a video comparing what Samurai Jack did right compared to what the Powerpuff Girls reboot did wrong.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because like Samurai Jack is like doing so much right, and the Powerpuff Girls reboot did so much wrong.
Yeah.
It's gonna be neutral by the end of it all.
Ozio also asks, just real quick, thoughts on Unikitty getting her own TV series.
I can't wait.
Unikitty from
Unikitty.
Lego Movie, PanamaMatt.
I'll be right back, guys. I put Lamb
I know it's Unikitty
Oh,
from Lego Movie.
Okay.
It's just interesting that that's triggering a TV series.
Yeah.
Could be good.
So
could be bad.
Ross has a question here asking, do you ever go into a film hoping it sucks? That's funny.
I don't think I have, because I don't want to spend monies and hate a movie. And I wouldn't really want to go to a movie hoping that it sucks or expecting that it sucks, because that's just
I think I've gone in hoping a movie doesn't suck as bad as I expected it to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely sat down thinking, okay, movie, show me what you got.
Yeah, I did that with
Secret Life of Pets.
Actually, both.
And Finding Dory.
Secret Life of Pets and Finding Dory. I kind of had like the crossed arm, like, okay, Pixar, because again, all these movies were up against Zootopia. And a lot of times what happens is when movies first come out, a lot of people have stars in their eyes where it's like, oh my god, this is the best movie ever. and then you let it sit for about a month and then see what people are saying. And typically that's when it's like, okay, hype's died down. Now let's actually talk about the movie. For me, Secret Life of Pets still drives me nuts. I don't quite understand, and I don't need to. It's not that I have to understand this, but I just don't. I don't get why that movie did as well as it did. Like, I'm just like, domestically, that thing, like, came like, I think it got like $368 million domestically. To put in perspective, that's 20 million more than Zootopia was able to get domestically. That means it's like it was right in between Finding Dory, and I'm just like, how? Like, how? But
People love their pets.
it's got to be the pet aspect. Like, I like
Yeah.
pets, but apparently I'm not a pet person as much as, I don't know. I'm still like, I still have my eyes squinted.
When I know a movie is going to be bad, like
Norm of the North.
yeah, like Home of the North or Strange Magic, or Monster Trucks. I hope at least that it's entertainingly bad.
Yeah.
Because it's really bad. It's or I guess it's really unfortunate when the movie is just bad and really boring.
Mm-hmm. Those are the worst.
Right.
Yeah, because at least with like, I can't believe I'm just saying at least for like something like Strange Magic or Monster Trucks. That at least I'm finding things that are making me go like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then I can just think about it later when I make my review on it.
No, actually, Monster Trucks is a good example of a movie that Sarah and I both went into going, well, hopefully this is at least entertaining.
Yeah.
I hated that movie. I saw it on the flight. I hated it. I fell asleep. Legit. I fell asleep in the middle of it. Like, it was blaring my ear, and I looked at it, and I just started dazing out. And I fell asleep.
Such a soporific film.
It's a shame. Like, I hate going to a movie that I like. During the movie, you realize I do not like this at all. I'm not enjoying this because you feel like you just wasted your money.
Yeah.
And
That's
your
how I
time.
felt with Beauty and the Beast.
You felt like that for Beauty and the Beast?
I mean, maybe I'm just like too nostalgic and too like friggin' like I guess I like the original too much.
Yeah.
I guess, but like after seeing it, like especially when I was just sitting there and thinking like I'm embarrassed to see this movie, even though I know it's going to make a ton of money and everybody's gonna like it. I hate it. So.
Foxtastic asks, what do you think about the new trailer for the Emoji Movie? Has anybody seen that? I've seen it.
Yes.
It's like an amalgam of just rip-offs. It's like, oh, let's just rip a piece from this movie, rip a piece from this movie, and just stick them all together and just punch the shit out of it. Oh.
It's gonna be like Inside Out, Wreck-It Ralph, and the Lego Movie all blended together into making something awful.
No,
it
looks so terrible. Like, I can't believe that they're doing this. This is such a like, hey, let's really date ourselves with something that's
Could be really good, but I'm expecting it to be really bad.
I don't know.
Like, it's just they turned down Popeye and Medusa for this.
As a movie viewer, doesn't it almost feel a little insulting? Like, it's like, really?
Yeah.
This is really what you
the
think?
Public craves, Race.
Oh my god. I can really relate to this poop emoji because I used it twice.
Voiced by Patrick Stewart.
It's funny because somebody made the observation where, in part of the trailer, like, this is the room where the emojis that are never used are, and the eggplant emojis there. And I'm like, dude, I see that emoji
I saw them talking
all
about
the
that on
time.
the double toasted reaction.
I use that one.
Yeah, it's good for penises. So I don't understand why we kind of deny.
What a freak!
What a freak!
Yeah, I don't even use emojis, so I'm like,
I'm old school. I use old Warcraft emojis that we make with our own hands.
I wonder if Oziel is excited for it because his picture on Twitter is a smiley.
He's like the son of the.
I thought you were about to say it was an eggplant.
No,
his icon's like one of those old school like Walmart like smiley faces.
Nice.
I don't know if I know what's being referenced here, so I'll see if anyone else does. Nikki D has a question asking, why did the bike fall over?
Because we didn't have his kickstand up.
I don't know what this. I don't know if it's a reference to something or not.
I'm not sure.
Probably because you just weren't pedaling, my man.
Well, Rosie asks, okay, my sister was in a musical version of Madagascar. What other DreamWorks movies should be musicals?
There's a musical of Madagascar?
I guess so. I never knew.
You know what song they sing the whole time.
I like to
move it.
Road to El Dorado is DreamWorks, yeah?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would actually be a good one.
Oh, it's like Prince of Egypt.
Yeah,
it already
Prince
has
of
really
Egypt.
great songs.
Yeah.
Wait, that was DreamWorks too?
Yeah.
Holy crap, DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Prince
used
of
to have
Egypt
like
is
some really
great.
good 2D stuff.
Great candidate, I agree.
Well, they have some wonderful 2D stuff. I just didn't realize Prince of Egypt was in there.
Shrek Forever After, I think, would make it good.
They already have Shrek musicals.
Casper.
Shut up.
Is that
It is.
DreamWorks?
It is.
Wow.
At least I'm pretty sure it is. Shadowblood is asking if Zootopia didn't exist. Oh, he's asking me if Zootopia didn't exist, what would your all-time favorite Disney movie be? What's funny about this is that I guess like what's good about Zootopia is it almost kind of filled a void because I'm a huge
filled
Disney
a void.
He never had a favorite Disney movie before.
No.
Did you even have a favorite movie before?
Yeah, well, I had movies that I'd say like if you had asked me like a few years ago, like, hey, what's your favorite movie? I would have probably said Inception.
Really? I would have said a different
yeah.
one for you,
but Disney movie.
What would you have said for me?
Armageddon.
That was before Inception.
Oh, fine.
And see, then again, talking about like, oh my god, how rare it is for me to see a movie more than once. It was a big deal because I saw Inception twice.
Whoa!
In theaters. Twice.
Calm down.
I know. Disney movies, though, it's just I'm a massive Disney fan, and I love seeing Disney movies, but I don't know, like I never really had. It's not like I had like a favorite, like Aladdin's always been my favorite, or because I think the reason for this is a lot of them lumped together. Like I love Great Mouse Detective. If you asked me before Zootopia came out what my favorite Disney movie is, I think I would have said. I probably would have said Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah, that was my guess.
Yeah, and I think that's what
I guess because I already know. Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, you got that for my birthday.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
I got you a double pack. The two movies, the two Rescuer movies.
I love that. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I guess that would be my answer. But it's just the reason I'm saying it like that is because they weren't like overwhelmingly like favorites. Like it's not like
it's
they
not
were
like
so
you saw
far...
it 30 times in theaters. Favorites.
It's not like I was looking for merchandise, or going, man, why isn't there? Or I was just like, hey, I liked that movie as a kid, and the music. Music's a big deal for me in movies. Ozzy was asking, will you ride the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at DCA?
No.
Yeah.
Sarah?
No.
Sarah?
No, it's the same ride as the last
it's different.
one.
It's different. That's
I'm
why they
not
spent all this
going
time
on it.
Sarah?
It looks like a fucking Art Deco artist puked on
Saber, help me out here. Tell Sarah.
Be an Art Deco hotel.
Tell Sarah why she should go on this ride.
What ride?
Any ride that she wouldn't want to go
The
on.
new Tower of Terror, aka Guardians of the Galaxy World.
I'm go on that.
Saber, please.
Don't go,
Join
Sarah.
us.
I will. I'll go on it. Jory, I think this is the last question.
There might be some that are just tagged as semi-perfect pod. I'll double check.
See if there are.
might
I
be
like this one because
Galaxy
Jory
one.
tagged hashtag semi-surfect. podcast. SS. Perfect. Might have been asked, and sorry for coming in late, but what was the here we go. What was the best part of Everfree Northwest? Saber, what was your favorite part?
I'm just hanging out with people. It's just good people.
Good people. Yeah. Again, the panels were a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to go for kind of a typical answer here, but I'm gonna say Whose Line. It was
You're welcome.
Another fun. Yes, thank you, Sarah, for setting that up. I actually, it's funny.
They do thank me, but they always forget to credit me. Or
yeah,
anybody
like
who worked
during
on
the game. I always realize that like 5 minutes after the game's over and the mics are off, I'm like, but yeah, I'll say Whose Line. What was your favorite, Sarah? What was your favorite part of
Spaghetti Factory?
Yeah.
It was fun eating dinner with everybody and chatting and eating good food.
Yeah, good times.
Can't go wrong with spaghetti.
Good. Nope. So, did you have any other questions over there?
Yeah, 1 second. Yes. Okay. Aleximus Prime asks, what is the best piece of fan art or any form of appreciation you guys have ever received at a convention?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's cheating. You can't ask best.
I don't think I've ever received fan art at a convention. I received some good conversation in San Diego over a Mai Tai and a fishbowl.
Yeah. That's because you got super drunk.
I didn't get drunk, Sarah. Well, someone else
Nice. I said Sarah. You got Sarah drunk. Honestly, I guess I'm going to go a little cliche here, but any fan art that people do, that people take the time to do, no matter what kind of medium, is totally just incredible. There's no way I can call all of it out. But there's been some different types that have been really cool. Earth Pony Creations, he's a guy who does a lot of vending. He actually made me these what he does is he burns images into wood and then cuts them out and all that, and it's super cool. And he made me some Zootopia ones, and those were like super special. It's like, oh my god, that's so sweet. There's also Victor comes to mind. He makes these cardboard cutouts. But like I said, just like in general with the fan art and everything, like there's no way I could think of all the stuff. Like even at this past convention, there were a lot of cool pieces of art that people made. There was, I forget what they're called. Somebody gave me a, it's like when you put all the buttons together to form an image. I forget what they're called. But anyways, essentially, just for anybody, like whenever we get any form of fan art or even just somebody come up to us at a convention, it's one of the coolest things for us because we love being able to see and meet and talk to our audience, and it's important for us because it's a sign of, hey, maybe we are doing something right. And it's one of the coolest things that people take time to put something like that together. And I know Saber and I are absolutely just besides ourselves whenever anyone does take the time to make some fan art. So, and Aleximus Prime, you yourself have drawn up some pretty awesome freaking things.
I'm gonna pull up on the stream. This will be featured next podcast, but I'm gonna show it on this one because he made great background art with everybody, with Paleo, Laura, and Black Griffin, all of us, and it looks super cool. Unfortunately, I don't have the link to give everybody, but I think I showed everybody, and everybody saw it on Twitter. But yeah, thank you, Aleximus, so much. We enjoy all of the art that you make for us.
Love it.
You need to get a Twitter.
Love it.
Yeah,
I need to go through DeviantArt. I was like kind of sneaking on there and seeing what stuff people are drawing up there as well. But yeah, Sarah, was that the last question?
One more.
Okay.
Captain Venom asks, "Who can't wait for Wonder Woman?" I am excited.
The other day. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking
cautiously
forward
optimistic because I know how DC movies can go, but I'm hoping it's good.
I'm weirded out because like I just recently saw Batman versus Superman. Because I'm like, okay, let's see how bad this is or whatever. And I'm wondering if it's actually to my benefit of not really knowing any like story or background or Superman story or background. Like, I don't know, I was just like, it just seems like a movie. I mean, I wasn't like, oh my god, this was so good. But I guess I was just like, oh, I think it was like the reverse effect of people way overblowing how good a movie is, and then you get to it and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't life changing. I think it was the opposite effect for me, where I expected something so bad that I was like, oh, that actually it was okay. It was, but yeah, it's weird because I didn't realize, or I forgot that Wonder Woman shows up in that movie, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess that sets up all of this. Like, you could tell they're trying to go the Marvel route, where they're like, haha,
Yeah.
look at us, we connected something, but really obvious and blatantly. So I know I'm excited for it, right?
Yeah.
That means I'll end up seeing it.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
Man, a couple weeks.
Oh.
Soonish.
Pirates. I'm excited for Pirates.
Yes.
I'm gonna see the hell out of that movie. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Sarah, we're all done with questions, it seems.
Yeah.
I did have one last one that just popped up here from Jazz King asking, what do you guys think of the new OC creator on the new Sonic game? But I
saw news about that. And
Paleo.
DeviantArt is a reality.
It's so funny.
Well, good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap here on the Semi-Perfect Podcast on this May 17, 2017. Want to thank you all for joining us, and of course, thanks to all of the people on the podcast. And yeah, so we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Let's see what day is that. That will be the 31st.
The 31st.
The 31st.
The final day of May.
Dun,
May
dun, dun.
Day. So yeah, so we'll be back on that date, and want to thank you all again for joining us out here, and hope everyone has a good night. Good night, everybody.
Dampone.
Good night.
Good night. Hey guys, it's Toodles from the Semi-Perfect Podcast. This is totally not recorded post-show. Yes, it is. I just wanted to give a shout out to our fan-made Discord server. It is a Discord server created by our watchers for our watchers. If you really like to get in touch with our community, that's a great place to go. Anyone who enjoys the Semi-Perfect Podcast is welcome to join, so please check out the link in the description below. Thanks!